Go GB! Come on, Great Britain! This is what they were shouting to me. So it's 2011. I'm in China, Beijing. I've done the World Championships and I've done a triathlon. To be honest, I've not done the whole thing. So I've done the swim section, I've done the bike section, and I'm on the run section. So I'm running along as fast as I can. I'm running along, and as I'm coming around the final corner, I can see the crowd, the audience, and they're cheering my name. They're going, "Come on, Steve!" Which is amazing. Because as I hear my name being shouted, my legs go a little bit faster, and I suddenly realise that I'm smiling, but then I suddenly realise that as I'm smiling, I can't breathe. And that's not good. You know, when you're doing the running thing, you've got to do the breathing thing. So I'm saying to myself as I'm running, I'm saying, "Steve, stop smiling, keep breathing, keep breathing." And then I come around the corner and then I see that thing that I've been working towards for days, for weeks, for months, for years, the finish line. And now I'm getting really nervous. I'm thinking, oh gosh, okay, Steve, right, don't be nervous, stop smiling, keep breathing, keep concentrating. I see the finish line, I cross the finish line, I'm like, yes! I'm like saluting the crowd and the audience, I'm like, yeah! And as I cross the finish line, as soon as I crossed the finish line, an official came over to me and gave me a medal, put a medal around my neck, and I've got the medal here. And I thought, wow, did I win? What colour is it? Is it gold? Is it silver? It's very shiny. I'm trying to read that, it's got some writing on it. The thing is, I'm white under the sweat. The writing's all in Chinese, and I can't, because I'm in China, and I can't read Chinese. So I don't know what it says. And I look in the back, it's got some more writing. And this is in English, and it says, "Finisher's Medal." And I'm like, oh, right, okay. And I'm looking around me, and I think, well, everybody's got a finisher's medal. But then I suddenly realised that I was hugging this medal really tightly because it meant so much to me. Not only was I representing Great Britain, and not only had I just done a triathlon, which is amazing in itself, but 9 years before I got this medal put around my neck, I'd been told that I may never walk again. And so that's the story, the journey I'm going to share with you today. But I've been talking to Dan and been talking to Tom, and apparently it's not all about me. No, so I know it's crazy. I find it hard to believe. No, apparently it's about you guys. It's about you. So I'm going to twist this round to you, to everybody here, and I have a question for you. My question to you is, what is your gold? Now, to me, GOLD is an acronym for your goal, your opportunity, your love, your dream. What is that thing? What is that thing that you want? What is that thing that gets you excited? What is that thing that you're working towards? Now, I've been talking to Pauline, I've been talking to Bal, I've been talking to Bill, and we've been talking about what their goals are. And it could be your personal goals, your professional goals. But I want you to start thinking about what that thing is, that thing that gets you really excited, that thing that maybe you're a little bit embarrassed to tell other people about, because it's a crazy idea, but actually deep inside, it's what you really want. What is that thing? Is it to further your business more? Is it to create more money? What are you going to do with that money? Is it to help more people? Is it to think about retirement? Is it to go down to a 4-day week, a 3-day week? What is that thing that you're driving towards? What's that thing that will get you out of bed at 5:30 in the morning, jump out of bed like a grasshopper, running around like Billy Whiz? What is that thing that gets you so excited? I want you to think about what your goal is. Because as I go through my presentation, there's going to be some messages and some mantras, and I want you to take them on board. And I want you to adapt and adopt them and use them so you can work towards the gold in your life. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to give the 5 winning ways that will unlock the power of your potential to achieve your gold. And I call it like a golden compass. If we just zoom in on this a little bit, you've got your golden vision, number 1. Your golden gang, your golden soul, your golden gear, and your golden hour. These 5 things will help you through your journey so you can achieve the gold in your life. Throughout the presentation, take as many photos as you want of the slides, of me, whatever you think that will help you to remember so that you can succeed. Now, as we go through it, I just want to make sure, because I've been sat here listening to the applause, and I don't know if we've actually established the 3 levels. No, you're looking at me blankly. There's 3 levels of applause. We're just going to go through them just to benchmark before I carry on. So, level 1 is something that you might find at a cricket ground, tennis club. It's very polite. It's very British. It's like a pitter-patter of rain. So we're going to do this together, okay? So after 3, I'll go 3, 2, 1, go. And everybody put your hands together. Pitter-patter of rain, level 1. Okay, you ready? 3, 2, 1, go. Very good. Yeah, okay, that's the one I've been hearing as I've been sat here. So we are just going to crank it up a little bit to level 2. Level 2, something you might find at Lincoln United, maybe a football ground. Something with a bit more emphasis, a bit more uproar. Are you ready for the level 2? I'll count you down. I'll go 3, 2, 1, go. You ready? 3, 2, 1, go. Very good. Very good. I like that. And I did like it how some of you, I did notice, have saved yourself a little bit. Because you know what's next. You know that there's a level 3 coming. Okay, this is it. Let your inhibitions go. You can whoop. You can cheer. You can pretend you're American if you want. You can stand on your chairs. No standing on chairs. We have no risk assessment for standing on chairs. We wouldn't want anybody to have an accident and somebody trying to sue anybody else. So we won't have that going on, but you can go crazy. You can let your inhibitions go. Like I said, this time I'm going to count you down, but when I get to, I'll go 3, 2, 1, and then I'll say gold instead, okay? Are you ready for the level 3? Here we go. 3, I'll go, yeah. 3, 2, 1, gold! Hey, very good, look at that, standing up. Woo! Okay, very good. Thank you very much. Is that Gordon, is it? Yes. Okay, Graham, thank you very much. Graham doesn't take a lead. Right, that's good. I'm glad we got that sorted out. Now, just one other thing. I do want a bit of an interaction. So I'm going to split you into 2. So I'm going to go team 1 and team 2. Okay, team one. Your role as I'm coming around in the World Championships, as I'm about to cross the finish line, you're going to be shouting out to me, go GB. Are you ready? Okay, so we're going to practice that now. So I'm coming around the final corner and I can hear the crowd shouting, go GB! Very good, like that, okay. Team 2, I don't know if you're competitive. Right, you're going to be shouting, come on Great Britain, okay. Are you ready? So I can also hear the crowd shouting, excellent, very good, like that. Now then, lastly, it's quite personal this, don't mess it up. In unison, everybody together, you're all going to be shouting, come on Steve. So, I could also specifically hear the crowd shouting, come on Steve! Excellent, good, I'm glad we've got that sorted out, because now we can carry on, because it is actually all about me. So this is me as a child. There's my brother, my dad, my mum with the dog, my sister, and me. I love to run is my freedom, my liberation. I love doing it. I just did it with the dogs through the fields. It's so good. The other thing I like doing was scouting. We've got any scouts here, ex-scouts, or Browners guides, yeah, leaders, few people nodding their heads. Yeah. What? Very good, yes. I not only that, but over here I've got the Cub of the Year, I've got my bronze, silver and gold badges. And my first 3 badges that I ever got in scouting were swimming, cycling and running. Now I loved scouting. I used to be that scout that used to take the badge book home. And I used to look for the next badge that I wanted. And then when I found out, I'd go and ask for help from my mum, my dad, the scout leader of course, and they would help me work towards it. I didn't realise then, but I was actually setting a foundation of setting goals and working towards them. When I left school, I worked down the coal pits of Yorkshire. Maltby was my pit. I worked in Doncaster, or Donny, as we know it. Me and Pauline were talking about nights out in Donny, how good times. Ritzy, Charisma, Park Lane, no. But I loved it. I worked down the coal pits. I wanted more for myself. I took myself to Donny College, trained up as a mechanical engineer, still working down the pit as an engineer, but now I was constantly being given problems and having to find solutions. And I liked that. Now, when I did a lot of events with my father, walking events, running events, but in 1991 he got cancer. For the next 7 years, he never stopped fighting. And I would say he never gave in. But on the 6th of June, 1998, he passed away. For me, I carried on running, because that was my thing. That's my liberation, my freedom. I love doing that. This takes us all the way up to 2002. I'm driving on the outskirts of Sheffield. It was a rainy day. And my car skidded on a patch of water. I wasn't speeding, there was nobody else on the road. My car lost control, turned sideways. I was dabbing the brakes, nothing was working. I was doing the steering wheel, nothing was working. I could see that there was a pole that I was skidding towards. I had to brace myself, ready for impact. And then suddenly, bang! Help me! Help me! Somebody help me! I was stuck, I couldn't get out. And everybody came to save me. The police, the paramedics, the fire brigade, everybody. Now, it took them about an hour and a half to cut the car apart, piece by piece, eventually reaching into the car and dragging me out, along with what was left of my legs. Now, they put me into a nearby ambulance. That mercy dashed me to the nearest hospital in the Northern General Hospital in Sheffield. They gave me lots of morphine, lots of blood in the ambulance, and I must admit I can remember the ambulance trip quite clearly, because the other 2 guys in it, they were called Steve and Steve. So maybe you can imagine the conversation that we're having, and they were saying, are you okay, Steve? And I was like, yeah, I'm good, Steve. They go, okay, it's good, Steve. Right, we're going to go very fast, Steve. Okay, Steve? Yes, Steve. Good, Steve. Right, Steve? And very safely, Steve. Okay, Steve? Yes, Steve. Good, Steve. Right, Steve. Okay, Steve. So I like Steves. I don't know if we've got any Steves in the room, but Steves are really good. They saved my life. I got all the way to the hospital. I met my surgeon. His name was was Simon. I didn't know Simon. Simon looked down at my legs. He said, okay, Mr. Judge, we're going to see what we can do, but we may have to amputate your right leg. These are not words that I thought I'd hear that morning. I remember just saying to him, please just do the best that you can. With that, they took me into the operating theatre to save my legs, but I later out found that they lied to me that day because it wasn't just my legs that they were trying to save. It was my life. I'd lost a little blood, been through a traumatic incident. They really didn't know if I was going to come out of that operating theatre alive or dead. And that's the message that my mum, my brother, and my sister received that evening. Not knowing if they're going to see their younger son, their brother, ever again, they all burst into tears. The operation lasted about 8.5 hours. And when I came to, I was feeling in a really bad way. And it's around this time when the surgeon was doing his rounds. And he came over to my bed. And he said, how are you feeling, Mr. Judge? And I said, I feel terrible. I'm groggy, disorientated. I'm not in a good place. He said, look, I understand that, Mr. Judge. I just want to let you know that we did do the best that we could. And we did manage to save both of your legs. But I am afraid that with the severity of the injuries that you have sustained, there's a chance that you may never walk again. And I think when somebody gives you information like that, it's like a fight or flight in a way. And I could have just rolled over in bed and gone, okay, I guess I'll never walk again. But for me, I felt really angry. Really angry that somebody had the audacity to say something like that to me. They didn't even know who I was. I guess this is the fight, isn't it, in a way? I remember lying there looking up at the surgeon thinking, who are you? Who are you to tell me that I may never walk again? I mean, your name's not even Steve, because I like Steve's. His name was Simon. What does Simon know? But Simon does know. Let me explain. So Simon does know what he's talking about. So my left leg was wrenched apart at the knee, just twisting it, and the 4 ligaments ripped out. And my right leg was even worse. So my right leg had been partially amputated. Now, just to explain that a little bit better, I've got the aid of a prop here. So if you imagine this is the bone, my tibia bone, and bottom part of my leg. This bone was broken once, twice, leaving 4 inches of bone that was considered no good by the surgeons in the operating theatre. And consequently, this part of the bone was just thrown away. And that left me with a very short leg. This is what I woke up to. This is held together with a big metal cage around it. It's going to be my responsibility, my ownership, to work towards it so I could grow my leg back, so I could stand again, so I could walk again. That was my goal at that time. Now, I have a slide. The next slide is an X-ray of the leg. Are you okay seeing that? I don't want anybody to pass out. It's quite warm in here, but you have eaten. Yeah, you're okay with that? I am a first aider, just in case. I've got a badge for that. All is good. If you're not too sure, just look away, okay? So here, so you can see this part of the bone, the 4 inches of bone, just thrown away and shoved together. They smarten up, then put a cage around it. The next side is the cage, the metal cage. There's a photo. So again, if you're not too sure, look away. Okay, here we go. So this is what I had on my leg. Okay, so these are the nuts and bolts that I had to twist. I had to twist with the spanner, day after day after day, slowly stretching the skin and the muscle, and actually wrenching the bone apart to form a gap of 4 inches. That's what I had to do to work towards my goal, because my goal at that point was to stand again, was to walk again, and I needed to work towards that. Okay, I've moved slides now, just in case anybody wants to look back. But it was a long journey, and I may come across as like some kind of a Superman doing that, but no, it wasn't. You know, I started this diary. I found this was 4 weeks after the accident that I found in my diary. It tells me 2 things. Today was a good day because today was the first time that I didn't cry. The first thing that tells me is that I'd cried every single day in my mum's arms with the question, why me? Why me? Why me? The second thing it tells me is the first time that I didn't cry. Now that tells me acceptance. Now once you accept the situation that you're in, then you can do something about it. And that's what I was prepared to do. Now there's lots of things I had to do. One of the things I had to do was physio. Has anyone got any physio? Anyone done any physio before? Isn't it the most boring, painful, monotonous thing, whatever? But you have to do it as many times as you have to. But the other thing I had to do, I needed a vision, a golden vision, I would call it. This is number 1 of the 5 winning ways. Number 1 is your golden vision. Now, your golden vision, what I mean by this is that a lot of people focus on what they want to avoid rather than what they want to achieve. To be honest, from my research, 80% of people focus on what they want to avoid. I don't want to be lonely. I don't want to be poor. I don't want to be unhealthy. I don't want to be unhappy. Where the focus goes, the energy flows. What you need to do is focus on what you want to achieve. I want to be successful. I want to be rich. I want to be fit. I want to be happy. By focusing on that, that's what you achieve. So having a golden vision will help you to do that. So do you know what I did to help me focus on what I wanted to achieve rather than what I wanted to avoid? I drew a picture. And look at the picture that I drew. So I drew a picture of me, this is on my notebook, me standing again, walking again, my crutches thrown to one side. And as I drew that picture, I got excited. I thought, yeah, I want that. What do I have to do to work towards that? What I didn't know at that point, I was opening up to my RAS. Do you know what your RAS is? Your RAS is called your reticular activating system. It's like a filter in the back of your brain. So imagine you get 20 million pieces of information going into your brain every single day. Sights, sounds, smells. On a day like this, it's probably overload. You can only pick up certain things depending on what your conscious picks up. Your subconscious will pick everything up. But you can program your RAS. You're not sure what I'm talking about? Okay, right. We're going to do a little exercise here. So, on your table, there was a card in the middle of the table. Grab the card and a pen. Okay, reach in, grab that card. Okay, you all got the card? Okay, on this top box here, this white box here, I want to scan the room and find 3 things that are blue. 3 things that are blue and write them down in that white box. So 3 things. Look around the room, all the way around the room. Look at all the things that you've got. 3 things that are blue. This is the easy part of the exercise, by the way. Okay, right. Look down at your cards. Do not look around the room anymore, because that would be cheating. Look down at your card, and next to those 3 blue things, write 3 green things that are also in this room. Do not look around the room. Some people are looking around the room. This is unbelievable. Right, look down at the card and write 3 green things that are also in this room and put them next to the blue things. Okay, you can stop that now. It was harder, wasn't it? There are some green things. There's some green things on the table. We've got these. Okay, getting value for money on those, Tom, so that's good. We've got green tops. We've got a lovely lady wearing a green top and a green dress. We've got green exit signs. There are green things. You were looking for blue things. I programmed your RAS, okay, to look for blue things. So this is how it goes. Where the focus goes, the energy flows. Know what you want. Work towards it. You'll see those. People call them coincidences. Oh, what a coincidence. It's not a coincidence. It's because you programmed your RAS, because you know what you're looking for. So know what you're looking for. Know what your goal is, your golden vision. That's what you need. The next one, number 2, is your golden soul. Why? Why do you want to achieve your goal so much? Why do you want that 4-day week, that early retirement? Why do you want that happiness in your life? Why do I want to stand again? Why do I want to walk again? I think that's obvious why I needed that. So knowing why you wanted it is so important, because there's going to be some tough times on your journey, and there certainly were tough times on mine. Like I said, I did lots of physio. And the other thing I had to do, apart from physio, was that I had to grow bone. Do you know how to grow bone? I had no idea how to grow bone. I just thought you drank lots of milk, for calcium, or ate lots of cheese, again, for the calcium. And the surgeons are always very official, aren't they? So the surgeon says to me, he says, no, Mr. Judge, you don't just drink milk and eat cheese. You've got to stand on your leg. You've got to walk on your leg. Trust the cage. And I'm like, trust the cage? You trust the cage. but this is what I had to do to work towards my goal. So, where I live, Sheffield, very hilly, needed somewhere flat. I found a place called Rother Valley. I don't know if anybody knows Rother Valley, a few nodding heads. It's 2 lakes, it's got a path all the way around it, it's flat. I took myself down there, knowing what I had to do. My brain screaming out to me, saying, don't do it! But I knew that I had to. Grabbing my crutches, I slowly put my foot down. The pain shooting through me made me feel cold and lightheaded. Just seeing the people in the park, they're going, what's this guy doing? He's crazy. But I kept walking step by step until eventually I saw that there was a chair, a park bench that was actually closer to me than where I started. Sitting down, I rested and recovered. I looked at my watch, 34 minutes. I looked at my pedometer, half a mile. Half a mile in 34 minutes. That was a joke. I used to be a runner. I felt so demoralized. I just thought, what's the point? Why am I even bothering doing this? This is a waste of time. And I looked down at my cage. I could see that all the pins were bleeding and the blood was dripping down and being soaked up by my sock. And I realized at that point that I couldn't have gone any further that day. I realized that I'd been the best that I could be. I realized that I shouldn't be so harsh on myself. I started feeling weak and queasy. I knew that I had to get back. So I stood up and started walking back, grunting out loud on every single step. When I got back, I got all the way back home. When I got home, I collapsed. And that night, I had a sleepless night with muscle spasms in both of my legs. And the next day, I was completely exhausted, shattered. The day after that, I got up and I did it all again. Because that's what I needed to do. And sometimes I fell, and many times I cried. But eventually I got past that first park bench and then onto the next park bench. And then I set my sights onto the next park bench, pushing myself. And my question is to you, is so what are you doing? Now, what are you doing to work towards your goals? That thing that you really want, that thing that you're passionate about, that thing that gets you excited. What are you actually doing to work towards it? How are you going out of your comfort zone? Like Charlie was saying, are you networking? Are you meeting those people? Are you asking those questions? Are you sending that email, making that phone call? What are you doing to work towards your goal? You know, for me, I had this mantra going on inside my head every single time I did it about not leaning on my excuses, instead turning them into a challenge. And it's the first message that I want to share with you today. And that is to do that, exactly that. And ask yourself, the next time somebody says that you can't do something, is that true? Or is that an excuse that you're leaning on? Or next time you tell yourself that you can't do something, is that true? Or is that an excuse that you're leaning on? And if it is, I'd urge you to turn that excuse into a challenge and push yourself forward. And that's what I did. Setting my sights onto the next park bench and then round the top of the lake onto the next park bench. It's quite a good story about benchmarking here, really, if you think about it, bit by bit. But over the next year and a half, my bone, it did grow back. And the cage was released. I was able to stand again and walk again, which is amazing. And eventually, I did walk up that hill, that mountain, and I would say, on that day, I achieved my goal. And I get a round of applause for that, please. Level 3. Thanks for the level 2, everybody else. That's good. Yes, thanks, Gordon. So I achieved my goal, and you can say, what's next? But let me just reiterate where we are. So let me go through my injuries. My left leg, they replaced the ligaments in my knee with ligaments from a pig. Okay, so I've got pig ligaments in my knee. It's a shame it wasn't ligaments from a racehorse or a gazelle or something, but a pig it is. I do feel a little bit guilty having bacon sandwiches nowadays, seeing as I'm part pig. My right leg is the right length, so we've got that sorted. But my left leg, I've got lack of feeling, lack of movement. I've got a drop foot, and my knee, I get pain in my knee. My right leg is the right length, but I've got lack of skin. I've got skin tissue issues. I've got lack of muscle, and my foot is pretty much fixed. If I was to show you physically, on my left leg, I can just about jump. Okay, and my right leg, there's nothing there. I'll show you again, just in case you missed that one. Okay, so there's like no suspension there. So I always wanted to be, back to normal. I suddenly realized that there is no such thing as normal. I was very different to what I was before the accident. Big message here. There is no such thing as normal. So stop comparing yourself to other people, to your friends, to your family, to your work colleagues, to celebrities. Everybody's different. You've got to think about what you can do rather than what you can't do. And that's what I had to start doing. I couldn't run anymore, but what could I do? I could swim, so I swam. I got onto a bike and I started cycling. I started pushing myself and doing a few events and this, that, and the other. And people said to me, they said, Steve, you're always pushing yourself. You're always pushing. Why have you always been like that? And I thought, yeah, I guess, everything about scouting with the badges and setting those goals, my first 3 badges, swimming, cycling, running. So I wanted a new goal for myself. So I went onto the internet and I typed in swimming and cycling events. And the only thing it came up with was triathlon. I was like, triathlon, damn, I can't run, but maybe I could, just walk around the run route, cross the finish line, call myself a triathlete, still get a medal. But as I scrolled down, I found this thing called a paratriathlon, triathlon for disabled people. And I thought, ooh, I wonder, with my legs, whether I'm disabled. I don't know. I went down to Loughborough and they checked me out. They gave me lots of physio, an assessment. They asked me lots of questions. And at the end of the assessment, they said, Mr. Judge, you are disabled. And I'm like, yes. I said, this is great, because now I've got no excuses to lean on. They said, can you run? And I said, not yet, but now I've got a goal. To be honest, running had been stolen from me for 7.5 years, but now I had a reason to get it back. I can remember going out running for the first time. My brain knew what to do. My legs couldn't quite keep up, but I was doing it, and I was running along, and I was looking down at my legs and going, wow, I'm running, this is amazing. The thing is, after I stopped running and the adrenaline wore off, that's when I felt the pain. So much pain, especially my right ankle. So the next day I couldn't run, so I thought about what I could do, and I went swimming. And after that, the next day I went cycling. And the day after that, the pain had subsided a bit, so I ran again, because I love to run. And that's my training montage that took me all the way up to the first paratriathlon. Now, the first paratriathlon happened to be at a place called Rother Valley. It's the same place where I did all my rehabilitation. Not only that, but it happened to be on the 6th of June. Now, the 6th of June is the day when my father passed away. He passed away exactly 11 years to the day. When I got there and I got my race number, it was race number 11. I just felt that my father was going to be with me every step of the way. So we get there, amazing people there. We get there, get the wetsuit on, get in the water. I'm waiting for the horn to go off. The first paratriathlon. So swimming as fast as I can, trying not to get punched or kicked all the way around. As we get out of the lake, I had to take my wetsuit off, put it in the box, and then I grabbed my bike. So my bike, I'm cycling along, cycling round Rother Valley, had to cycle around 4 times. I'll just do one time, others are going to be, we're going to be here all day, aren't we? Do the bike, and then on to the run section. So I'm running along. As I'm running along, I can see the park benches. The same park bench, I can see a vision of myself sat on there in pain and in sorrow. And I thought, that's not me anymore. Look at me now. Look at me now, and I'm running as fast as I can. As I'm running along, I can hear the tannoy system calling me in, and it's really impressive. And my mum's there, my brother, my sister, and I see the finish line, and I've crossed that finish line. And on that day, I crossed the finish line to grab the gold medal. And on that day, I achieved my gold, my opportunity, my love, my dream. Oh, it was an amazing time. It was quite emotional for me. You know, I've been through a lot with everything. I can remember being in tears and picking up my son, hugging him like a teddy bear. He was in tears as well. I don't know why he was in tears, actually. He's a toddler. They cry about all sorts, don't they? So he probably lost his lollipop or something. But it was an emotional time for all of us. And it was around this time when the officials came over to me and said, Mr. Judge, congratulations. You are now British champion, because it's the British Championships. He said, would you like to represent Great Britain? And I'm like, hell yeah, I would love to represent Great Britain. So the message here is opportunities. There's opportunities around us all the time. You've got to see them, hear them, smell them, and grab hold of them with both hands and make things happen. You do that, I know you do. That's why you're here. You grab this opportunity. From Charlie's advice, you've been networking. People have come up to me. Strangers have come up to me, which is great. So the word is working. You're grabbing those opportunities, but keep listening, keep smelling, keep seeing all those opportunities and do something about them. For me, to represent Great Britain, that's what I was going to do. So this was not going to be easy. I was now working full-time in construction, in health and safety. I had a family with 2 kids, and now I wanted to be an elite athlete in swim, bike, and run. My alarm was set for 5:30 in the morning. That was my time. I'd get up early, I'd go swimming before work. At lunchtime, I'd go for a run. That wasn't easy. We didn't have any showers. I literally had to sponge myself down in a toilet cubicle, then go back to work, get home from work, play with the kids, put the kids to bed, and I'd be out on my bike. I'm not saying I did that every day, but I would always think about what I could do rather than what I couldn't do, working towards my goal to represent Great Britain in paratriathlon. And it was going really well. You know, I became British champion 5 years in a row, but I wanted more than that. My new goal, I wanted to become a world champion. So I needed something to help me focus on what I wanted to achieve rather than what I wanted to avoid. So do you know what I did? I drew a picture. Here, look, there's a picture. And look at me, I'm crossing the finish. I've got some colour to it now. I've got me with the GB kit on, a big smile. And look at the crowd, they're going nuts. Like Gordon is like on level 3, going crazy. And so as I drew this picture, I got excited. I was like, yes, I love this. I want to do this. What do I need to do to make this happen? Which brings us on to number 3. Number 3 is your golden gear. Your golden gear is all the stuff that you need to do to help you achieve everything. And it's one question 3 times. What more can I do? What more can I do? What more can I do? What more can you do to work towards your goal? Thinking all the time, what more can you do? For me as an elite athlete, I'm asking myself that question all the time. Came across this thing called the Borg chart. The Borg chart is a level from 0 to 20. You score yourself at the end of a training session. How much have you pushed yourself? I needed to be a 19, 18 or 17. If I was a 10 or 11 or 12, then I was not pushing it enough. Okay? I needed to score at 17, 18 or 19. Where would you score yourself at the end of your working day to work towards your goal? Are you a 17 and 18 and 19? Are you pushing yourself? Are you really working towards that thing? Or are you a 10 or 11 or 12? Only you can answer. Nobody else can do it for you. I was doing all of this. I was training hard. I was representing Great Britain and all was going in the right direction. But then this happened. I got beaten by the Italian. Yeah, his name's not Steve. His name's Michael Ferran. He's basically a Paralympian swimmer. He swims like a fish. On that day, he beat me by 4 minutes. 4 minutes is massive. My race takes about 1 hour 15, so 4 minutes. I couldn't even see him in front. I suddenly realized that I would not be able to become world champion in 6 months' time in Beijing, in China. I'd have to settle for the silver medal, the bronze medal. That would be my goal. That's what I would work towards. And then I realized what I was doing. I realized that I was leaning on my excuses. And so I needed to turn my excuses into challenges. And so I needed to get 4 minutes quicker in 6 months. This was not easy. I've just done a personal best. But I need to think, what more can I do to get to that stage? So I'm thinking about how to be stronger, speed, endurance, all those buzzwords. But I suddenly realized during my training that some of my friends weren't even at the start line. I'm like, where's George? Where's Lucas? And they go, oh yeah, they're injured. They're injured. And I suddenly realized how important it was for me to get to that start line. You know, I suddenly realized that that was the important thing, because if you can't get to the start line, you can't even compete. So how does it correlate with you? Very much about what Dan was talking about mental health and physical health, about you in your job, in your career. I know you're passionate, and I know you push yourself, and I know you burn the candle at both ends. But if you can't even get to your start line, and you have to have time off, whether you're on sick, with the physical or mental, then you can't do the thing that you really want to do. For me as an athlete, that's what I had to think about. I had to have a day off. I had to think about warming up, warming down. I had to do the whole injury prevention thing. Injury prevention is so crazy because you don't see any results. You just don't get injured. But that's what I needed to do. I did more yoga, more Tai Chi. You know, I suddenly realized that wellness is very much about action so that you can take action. It worked. You know, I got to every single start line. I was able to compete, and that took me all the way to China, Beijing. Are you ready for the World Championship? This is your time, you know. Go GB, come on Great Britain, come on Steve, level 3. Yeah, okay, right. Okay, we got this. Right, here we go. So we get there, China, Beijing. And this time it's very official. They all call you in. Representing Great Britain, Steve Judge. And I'm smiling and I'm waving, but inside I'm really, really nervous. But I'm not showing it. So we're getting in the water. Oh, the Italian. Okay, so the Italian. The Italian was there, which is a shame, but I have a plan for the Italian. So I can't do much about him on the swim, because he swims like a fish. On the bike, we're about equal, but on the run. On the run, my plan was if I could see him, I could catch him. And if I could catch him, I could take him. And if I could take him, I could keep going and grab the gold medal. Okay, that's the plan. Right, here we go. So we're getting to the water. Waiting for the horn. So swimming as fast as I can. The Italian, like a fish, he disappears off, and I'm swimming, trying not to get punched or kicked. I get all the way out of the water, take my wetsuit off, put it in the box, grab my bike. So I'm now cycling. I'm cycling along in the World Championships, and there's lots of other para-athletes cycling along, and sometimes it's hard to know whether they're in your category or not. And I'm literally looking to see how many arms they've got and how many legs they've got, and going, no, chase that one. So we get to the end, and then I wrap my bike, and then I'm onto the run section, so I'm running along, looking out for the Italian, and I see the Italian, and I catch up close to him, and he pulls away from me. I'm like, I'm not having this. This is my gold. This is everything I've been working towards. I'm pushing it as fast as I can, and he's still pulling away from me. And we're coming up to the final corner, and I can hear the crowd shouting, Go GB! And I can also hear the crowd shouting, and I can hear them in unison shouting, and I'm smiling a little bit, but not too much, otherwise I can't breathe. And then I come around the final corner, and I see that thing that I've been working towards for days, for weeks, for months, for years, the finish line. And as I'm pushing it across the finish line, I'm pushing it, sweating, and on that day, I crossed that finish line to grab the gold medal.
You beat the Italian.
I beat the Italian. I beat everybody. Everybody in the world I beat. On that day, I achieved my goal, my opportunity, my love, my dream. It was an amazing day, amazing accomplishment. I felt so happy, so relieved and everything. And just such an amazing accomplishment, like I've already said. So I was knackered as well. So what's next? So I retired, but I retired after a couple of years. I became world champion in New Zealand as well. But in 2014, I retired, and people said to me, what's next? Big question, what's next, Steve? And I said, look, I want to give, is it give back or completing the circle or pay it forward? I wanted to pay it forward to scouting. So I've now gone back as a Cub Scout leader, giving the new generation fun, challenge, adventure, life skills and opportunities. Who knows where those badges will take them in the future? But people said to me, how are you going to share your message? How are you going to get out there? I said, well, I'll tell you what. I said, I was like in a Superman pose. I said, I am going to be a motivational speaker. And they're like, wow, Steve, that's incredible. How are you going to do this? And I was still in the pose. I was like, I haven't got a clue. I had no idea how on earth to be a motivational speaker. But I knew by that stage that if I wanted something enough, then I would make it happen. So that's what I did. I went out on the circuit, as it's called. Now, this is where Toby comes in. So I had my setup, my blue jeans and a white shirt, and I thought that was quite a good image, my branding. And I met lots of people, networking, as Charlie says. And I met somebody who's called a stylist. I said, a stylist? What is it? They literally look you up and down, and they tell you what you look good in, and what clothes you look good in, and stuff, whether it's pink trousers or whatever. They tell you what you look good in. And she said, I like your outfit, your blue jeans, your white shirt, but you'd look better in a blue suit. And I said, I haven't got a blue suit. She said, you should get yourself a blue suit. I said, I can't afford a blue suit. She said, when you can afford a blue suit, you should get yourself a blue suit. I said, okay, I get it. When I get that big gig, I will buy myself to celebrate a blue suit. In fact, I'll call that gig my blue suit gig. I'll call it my BSG, blue suit gig. And she's like, yeah, okay, Steve, whatever. So I said, right, I needed something to help me focus on what I wanted to achieve rather than what I wanted to avoid. So do you know what I did? I drew a picture. Let's have a look at the picture. So over here, I've got my blue jeans and white shirt, fairly good branding. But over here, oh my gosh, look at this. With a big stage and the big audience. Look, he's going nuts. He's on level 3. We've got the lights and we've got one of those head mics. I think they're very important. Is it Britney Spears, Madonna that made those? Yeah, it depends how old you are. Maybe Taylor Swift. And I've got my blue suits. And as I drew that, I got excited. I said, that's what I want. That's what I want to do. What do I have to do to get my BSG? And so there's lots of things. This brings us on to number 4. Number 4 in the 5 winning ways. Number 4 is your golden gang. You know, I realized that every time I'd achieved something, I'd always had people around me. You can't do this thing alone. You know, I had the amazing NHS that saved my life and took me through rehabilitation. As an athlete, that's me at the back there. As an athlete, I had so many practitioners that got me across that finish line to grab that gold medal. And now in my business, I have so many people. I almost collect people in my golden gang. We've got some familiar faces here. We've got Dan, we've got Charlie at the back there. We've got other people, my mastermind group, my business coach. We have people that are helping me to get what I want to do, to what I want to achieve. But what about you? Who's in your golden gang? Now, you might know who's in your golden gang now. Your family, your friends, your colleagues. But who's going to be in your golden gang to take you up to the next level? To achieve your goal, that thing that you haven't quite got yet? Who do you need in your golden gang to get to that point? Have a think about who you want. That's how the RAS works. And once you know who you want, and you do a little bit of networking, magic happens. It's not coincidence. It's about programming what you want, who you want to meet. Maybe you want me on your golden gang. We can do that. So I'm doing all of that. I am doing the networking. I'm doing the lead generation, the marketing. Then I get that phone call as a motivational speaker. I'm saying, yes, I'm available on the date. The date's very important. Let's do the date. And then we talked about, I said, tell me more about the event. That's a big audience. That's a very big stage you're talking about. So you've got some big lights there. Should we talk about the fee? I don't really like talking about the fee. We've got to talk about the fee. Okay, yes, let's talk about the fee. Yes, I think I can accommodate that fee. I thought, this is it. This is it. This is my BSG. This is my BSG. I said, one last question. Can I have one of those head mics that Britney Spears and Madonna, is it? Okay, Madonna. Yes. And he said, yes. And I said, this is it. I've got my BSG. I was so excited that the next day I went out and I bought my blue suit for my blue suit gig. But more exciting than that was actually going to the event and actually standing backstage and then being asked to come onto the stage in front of hundreds, thousands of people, empowering them to achieve the life that they want to live. And on that day, I achieved my gold. A round of applause for that.
Jeremy Clarkson?
It wasn't Jeremy Clarkson, no, it was Michael Heppel, but yeah, similar age maybe. So, what do I do now? So now, to get my message out there, I run workshops, I do one-to-one coaching, I do podcasts, I always do as much as I can. People say, how do you find the time? This is number 5, your golden hour. We often overestimate what we can achieve in the short term and underestimate what we can achieve in the long term. Take a photo of that, it's a complicated one, but basically, think about where you want to be in 5 years' time. You've got that 5 years, it's a long way away. 5 years' time, where you want to be, where do you need to be in 4 years? Where do you need to be in 3 years' time to make that happen? Where do you need to be in 2 years? Where do you need to be at the end of this year to make that dream come to life? Where do you need to be at the end of this month, this week, today? What action are you going to take today to work towards your 5-year goal? Think about what you want. And people said to me, Steve, it's amazing what you've achieved. You've got a great story. Have you got a book? I said, I haven't got a book. They said, you should write a book. I said, I've never written a book. They said, why don't you make it one of your goals? So do you know what I did? So I did draw a picture. So what's next? So now I've got my autobiography, aptly named Don't Lean on Your Excuses. But it was so successful that I wrote another book, and this one called Gold, the 5 winning ways that unlock the power of your potential to achieve your goal. But they said, what's next? So what's next, isn't there? And what is next? I don't know. Maybe a feature-length film? Maybe something I'm working on, a little project at the side. Watch this space. It's all bit by bit. But apparently, it's not about me today. It's about you. What's your goal? What's your goal, your opportunity, your love, your dream? I hope you've been thinking about it, because now it is actually your turn. It's your turn to come up with a drawing. So I'm going to give you 5 minutes to draw a picture of where you are now and then where you want to be. Stick people is fine. I'll even give you a prompt. There you go. You might be somewhere like this. Think about what the weather's like. Is it good? Is it cloudy? Is it rainy? Could it be a bit better? Are you happy, sad? Are you stressed, overworked? I don't know. But then think about where you want to be. Oh, look at this. It's bright, it looks colourful. You're finishing work on time. Can you imagine that in the future? That'd be great. You're going on holiday, you're travelling, you're doing lots of things. So, I'm going to walk round like a teacher, looking over your shoulder, making sure you're doing something. Away you go. People are always leaning on excuses, aren't they? You haven't got any cards, did you say? It's all right, I've got some. There you go. I know you felt left out, didn't you? I know. Sorry about that. Oh, very good. Yeah, good answer. You win. Oh, I'll be back. There you go. I know you want to draw something, don't you? Draw your vision. That's okay. I know life is just full of excuses. I know. It's just like, oh, yeah.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, go. That's it. Yes, good. Yeah, good. Right. Okay, I want you to move over to where you want to be in the future. In the future, this is bright, this is colourful, this is blue sky thinking. This is going to be amazing. You want to go travelling, you can go travelling. You want a house, you want a bigger house, you can have a house with a swimming pool if you want. You can have a slide going from your bedroom down to the swimming pool. Is that just me? Okay, you can do whatever you want. You can have a new car. You can have 2 new cars. You can have a bike. 2 bikes, 3 bikes if you're cyclists. Never enough bikes. You can have a pet, 2 pets. You can have a farm. You can have money. Don't be ashamed if you want money in the future. But the question I would ask is, what are you going to do with that money? What are you going to use that money on? Are you going to treat people? Are you going to buy gifts? Are you going to use that money to finally go down to that 4-day week, that 3-day week? Do you want a nest egg so you can retire early? Does that sound good? What age would you like to retire? Maybe you can draw that. And when I say draw that, you can actually put words on it. I know I'm a visionary and I like pictures and everything, but if you need words, put words on. Everybody's different. Don't compare. So just put something down. Okay, I'm going to give you like 1 more minute to do this. Put as much detail on it as possible. Very good, like that. Excellent. He's looking stressed at the moment, but good future. Sunshine. Love it. It's good. Is the house next to the water, or are they 2 different separate things?
No, the house is close to the water.
Okay, right. I would love that. I'd love to go out of house and just jump into a lake. I do a lot of open water swimming, so that would be great.
Yeah, I'm more like...
Just sit and watch. That's good. I like that as well. Good. Excellent. Okay, we're gonna finish there. So, thank you for doing that. It's very good for you to do that because this is actually your business plan in a way. You don't need an Excel spreadsheet. I mean, you can have one if you want, but you can just draw a picture. This is the start. So, well done for doing that. Admitting to yourself what you want. All those thoughts inside your head. So, I'm looking for 2 volunteers. Who's the first one who would like to share what they've drawn? Yes, straight there. Bosh. Something about grabbing opportunities, this one. What's your name?
Andy.
Andy. Nice to meet you, Andy.
Andy, age 5, drawing.
Okay.
As good as I can do. I live in a small 2-bedroom flat. My vision is to move out of that into a nice, decent-sized family home with a partner and maybe a dog to live with as well. That
is awesome. That's really good. And it's just a big house as well. It looks a bit like a mansion, doesn't it?
Well,
yeah, good. Can we have a round of applause, please, for Andy? Thank you very much, Andy. Hold on. So, Andy, it seems you grabbed and seized that opportunity. I've got a gift for you. It's a book. Which one would you like? Would you like Don't Lean on Your Excuses or Gold? Don't lean. Okay. It is actually more for your money. It's thicker. It's bigger. Shrewd. Very good. I will sign it and put a message in it later. Okay. Okay, did we see another volunteer? It's straight away there. Gosh, I'll bring the book with me.
Don't you now?
Okay, what's your name?
Sharon.
Sharon. Okay, Sharon. So whereabouts are you now, would you say?
So broke,
Right.
broken-hearted, and work on my own.
Oh, okay, right. Well, let's forget about that. Let's think about the future. Where are you in the future?
So I'm in love.
Yay.
That's supposed to be a plane, but it came out a bit pornographic, so that's a bit...
I think you got something on your mind there when you say falling in love. So that's good. So the Mile High Club on the plane, going somewhere sunny.
Sunny, yeah. And
Good.
then a team of people around him.
Your golden gang.
A gang. Yeah. And
Yes.
that was supposed to be a six-pack, but it didn't quite work, kind of.
That's wiggle jiggle, man.
Yeah.
Okay, so you got it. So you're fit, healthy.
Fit and healthy with a six-pack, yeah.
You're actually going to the gym, actually doing stuff there. Yeah, walking, six-pack walking. I don't know if that works, but okay. Well, good luck on that. And whereabouts, hot and sunny? Whereabouts are you?
Well, probably Thailand would be the choice.
Probably Thailand.
Yeah,
There you go.
Christmas Day, Thailand, yeah.
Christmas Day Thailand. Oh, Christmas. That's specific. I like that. Should we say what, in 5 years' time or sooner?
2 years.
Go for it. Right. Can I have a round of applause, please, for that. And there is your book. So I'll sign it and message it later. So that's it. So I just wanted to say thank you. Have we got time for the video? Yeah. Should we do the video? Okay. This is my picture, by the way. You can have a look at that while I'm just setting this up. So as you can see, I'm still a massive global speaker on the global stage.
100%.
I've got my necker on.
Connecting to laptop, sir 2C3.
Good. I've got my samurai sword because I want to speak in Japan. That's why. That's not scouting thing. Sorry, I kind of digressed a little bit. I have this coin around my neck.
Steve's iPhone.
So it's I don't need on the iPhone. Right, let me just sort that out in a bit. So yeah, there's a story
Steve's
behind this.
iPhone connected.
AI technology is just like taking over our lives. But let me carry on. So Golden Gang, holding up the stage. I can't do it alone. 3 books. I've only done 2 so far. What's the third one? I don't know. I haven't even thought about it. I've got a property portfolio. Look at me. Got lots of houses. I've got some stocks and shares. Bitcoin's doing really well in my future. Get me. I've got a mansion house. I found love. I've got more than 1 car. And I'm helping, inspiring, and motivating people around the world because that's what I want to do. So, on your journey, you know, when I talk about your goals, it's very much about what you want. And it's kind of like if you could do anything in your life, what is that thing that you would do? If you knew that you couldn't fail. And there will be obstacles, there will be barriers on your journey. You've got to see those as excuses and don't lean on your excuses, but instead turn your excuses into challenges. You've got to think about what you can do rather than what you can't do. And the main thing is you've got to live your life with no regrets, because if you do that, then I believe that every single one of you will achieve your goal. I'm just going to set this video up so we can play it with sound. Let me just, won't take a second. Bluetooth that. Thunder bucket, bear with, just building up the tension. Oh, and I need to do the Bluetooth thing here.
Steve's iPhone disconnected.
That's good.
Ready to connect.
Okay, hopefully it is connected. Oh,
Steven's MacBook Air.
yeah, okay. Right, here we go. Are you ready?
Okay, Bob.
Thank you. Thank you very much. I'm going to pass back to Dan now. I will be looking for some video testimonials later on, so if anybody's up for that, Sharon, and that would be really good. But anybody, that would be really good. That would really help me with my branding and my marketing. So thank you very much. And I'm going to stick around for maybe a half hour. So if you've got any questions, you can come and find me then. Is that okay? Good stuff. Thank you.